19 new COVID-19 cases identified in the country yesterday. Army commander requests people to adhere to health guidelines. A special method to present inmates to courts. Public visits for inmates further restricted. Vice Admiral Nishantha appointed as the new commander of the Sri Lanka Navy. Millions of people in China battered by floods.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News. You're with me, Shehan Nalatunga. Now your top story this hour. 19 COVID-19 cases were identified yesterday. 9 of them were from the Kandakadu Treatment and Rehabilitation Centre.
4 inmates from the Senapura Rehabilitation Centre were identified yesterday. The rest of the cases were returnees from the UAE and Oman. Total cases in the country currently stands at 2,665. 532 cases have been identified from the Kandakadu Treatment and Rehabilitation Centre alone. The Association of Public Health Inspectors say 3,000 people in 16 districts have been sent on self-quarantine. Its Secretary Mahindra Balasurya said associates of the infected people, staff members of Kandakadu Treatment and Rehabilitation Centre and their family members have been directed to self-quarantine. 11 of 21 zones in the Rajangane Grama Seva division have been announced as risk zones. The Public Health Inspector in Rajangane said 248 families are sent on self-quarantine. Accordingly, 1,016 people in Rajangane are sent on quarantine. Activities at the Agriculture Centre in Thambuttegama have been disrupted by the COVID-19 situation.
There are limited arrivals of businessmen and consumers to the Special Agricultural Centre in Thambuttegama due to the spread of the coronavirus in Rajangane. There is a reduction in goods brought to the centre as well. There is a reduction of 25%. If this situation continues, activities at the Special Agricultural Centre will be impacted. We are in a situation where we might completely run out of business. Businesses have reduced due to the issue in Rajangane. Thus, business activities will be halted. Wages needs to be halted since there is no business.
The next few days are important because sacrificing and following the health guidelines from March 10 to April 30th was the reason why we were able to find the last community transmitted case on the 30th of April. Especially even the staffs attached to the Kandakadu without knowledge of the cases in their centre have travelled to their homes and other places. So everyone in the community should know to cover their faces and nose using masks when coming out of their houses. And the spread can be prevented by maintaining social distancing and washing hands. Everyone has the responsibility of not contracting the virus. His Excellency the President and Prime Minister summoned the Presidential Task Force to prevent COVID-19 and provided advice to all parties involved on how to stop the spreading. They provided the advice and no one can say that none of the political authorities are involved. They are using the Triforces, police and health authorities to eradicate COVID-19.
Sri Lanka in Turan kirima sandha karna katutu walata bhavita karana labana.
The commander of the army, Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, made these remarks after participating in an annual puja conducted by the Sri Lanka Army for the Asala Perahera at the Temple of the Tooth Relic. For the 7th time, 5 tons of copra produced from a coconut estate belonging to the Vijayaba Infantry Regiment of the Sri Lanka Army was offered to the Temple of the Tooth Relic and the 4 temples today.
Transporting inmates to courts for judicial procedures has been temporarily halted. Commissioner General of Prisons Tushar Opuldenia stated that this was done based on the instructions of the courts.
වර්තමානයේ COVID-19 ප්‍රශ්නයත් සමග අධිකරණ වෙත බන්ධනයක්.
Amidst the current COVID-19 situation, discussions will be held with the courts on presenting inmates via video. If an inmate needs to be presented to the courts urgently, it will be done after discussing with the magistrates and judges. These days, public visit to the prisons have been suspended. We hope to reopen it in the near future following the guidelines given by the health authorities.
උපදෙස් පරිදි මේ විවෘත කිරීම කටයුතු ඉදිරියේදී සිදු කිරීමට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Vice Admiral Nishantha Ulugethanna has been appointed as the 24th Commander of the Sri Lanka Navy by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
A past pupil of Royal College Colombo, Vice Admiral Nishantha Ulugethanna served as the Chief of Defence Staff of Sri Lanka Navy prior to his appointment. His appointment was made following the retirement of a former Navy commander, Admiral Pial de Silva, who retired yesterday.
Postal voting for the upcoming general election got underway for the third day today.
Postal elections was held at the Mathura Divisional Secretariat and Divisional Education Officers today. According to our correspondent, postal voting was done following the health guidelines. Meanwhile, postal voting also held at the Department of Education in the Northwestern Province. Our correspondent reported that voters followed proper health practices through the voting process. According to the National Election Commission, within today and tomorrow, officers of the defence sector are to engage in postal voting. Those who are not able to vote will be allowed to vote on the 20th and the 21st of this month through the District Secretariat's office. Close to 705,085 individuals are eligible to vote via the post in this general elections.
A Samagi Janabala Vegaya public rally was held in Ramukkana yesterday.
මේ මොහොත වන විට අපේ රට අන්ත ප්‍රපාතයකට ඇදවට.
At this moment, this country has fallen to the ground. We have to face the second wave of COVID-19 because the government wants a two-thirds and the election. I would like to tell you all that with the people's power, send this government home and build a people's government. Due to the current economic situation in the country, the people are facing severe difficulties, especially the people in the village. I would like to say at this moment that we will establish our government and we will bring back the economy to the proper state. We will work towards giving every family 20,000 rupees per month.
මේ හැම පවුලකටම ලබා දෙන්නට අපි කටයුතු කරනවාමයි කියන එක මේ අවස්ථාවේ කියන්න කැමතියි.
A public rally was held in Biyagama with the participation of the leader of the United National Party. Views regarding a new bill for health matters were expressed at the meeting.
There are no laws regarding this. Great Britain formed laws, so did Italy and Norway. Countries like Finland and Italy have formed laws. There is no need to impose curfew. We also said formulate a draft. Sumandiran was there as well. He also gave me the laws I got and I found the laws on the public health emergency bill. Then I remember MP Sumandiran said publicly that we are all ready to give this to the government. It didn't matter to them. We tried to give a law to any government. This is also because when we come into power, we have the law. There is nothing new to pass. I will give a copy of this to the media as well.
The leader of the National People's Power Movement, Anukumar Disanayaka, expressed the following views at a meeting in Attadiya.
We don't have to tell a lot about sorrows, theft and wastage. These are their wrong policies. What do we want? We want this misery to end. How do we do that? It can be done by putting an end to this vicious political culture that is 72 years old and create a new political journey. And for this, I ask you to make the compass victorious.
A crocodile which was found in a pond at a house in Jayantipura in Polonnaruwa was captured and released to a forest reserve in the area.
The owner of the house said that the crocodile had arrived 3 days ago to the pond located at this house. He further noted that the crocodile would have arrived from the Kumbukkaru Oya, which is in close proximity of the house. The officer attached to the Nikawava Wildlife Office commenced an operation to capture the animal. The crocodile was later captured. Officers attached to the Nicobar Wildlife Office and Polonnaruwa Divisional Office jointly conducted the operation to capture the animal. The crocodile is 7 feet long. The officials attached to the Wildlife Office said the crocodile was released to the Min Area Reserve.
And that's all we have for your lunchtime news. Thank you for watching.